I'm going to start in 1 minute, okay? Can you hear me now? Is there sound? Is there sound right now? Let me know if you can hear me. All right, everybody, how you doing? Wow, man, I'm only a half hour late today. Uh, but you know what? This is what I've learned, right? Like that no matter what happens, right? Everything always um everything always comes out like for his good, you know? Like everything will be the way God wants it in the end, you know? And so sometimes I will say that yeah, okay, a half hour late or a troll is attacking you or whatever. The end result is that, and and I can't be more grateful, is that the channel is stronger than it's ever been. We have more subscribers than we've ever had. We have more viewers than we've ever had. We have more live shows than ever. It's more consistent than ever. And the people here are stronger than ever. And the people here are higher quality than ever. And so it just seems that whether something good happens or something bad happens, in fact, it almost makes me not want to say that things are good or bad, you know? However, there is good and bad. I mean, that's obviously God defines that for us, right? But it just seems like if a circumstance happens, right, um, the right thing for God will happen, right? Might not be what I want, right? It might be a little pressure that I don't like. Some embarrassment that I like to avoid, or it might be, some lies that are uncomfortable for me to have to like endure, or for my kids to see, right? Yeah, that might be annoying, but if you get past that, right, and see where you are, right, and keep things into perspective and the right size, something like that is very, very, very small. That's a very, very small inconvenience, right? Like it's not, as big as it seems in the moment, right? And what happens is that the channel ends up being far better than it's ever been, right? And so endurance, right? Perseverance, uh, having faith and trust in God and what His plan is for us, right? Sometimes we want things to you go a certain way, go on a smooth order, go in a way that's convenient or that feels good, right? But sometimes that's not the way it's planned, and we have to endure things that um, might seem unfair or might seem unwarranted or maybe are unfair and are unwarranted, right? But Jesus told us that, in the end days, right, that people were going to, flip the meaning of good and bad, right? Like they're gonna call good bad and bad good, right? Bitter for sweet and sweet, sweet for bitter, right? Or, that we are gonna be hated, right? They hated him, they're gonna hate us, right? I mean, think about this. What reason do you think that they had to hate Jesus, That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy that God can come in the flesh and have 12 disciples by the end of it, you know? And one of them, sold him out, right? So, I mean, 11 people, right? They had his back at the very end. And so, we look at that, right? And I mean, it's exactly how God said it was going to be. that it was going to be, the world was going to be full of lies, that people were going to give allegiance to the enemy, uh, and we were going to be in a very small majority. We were going to be hated, and we were going to be attacked. And the better we are, right? The closer we get to being like Jesus, the more people will hate us. I mean, the devil watches us, and he is pissed off. He is seething. He watches every second of our stream and hates it, right? Why? You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it would bother anybody. We're just a couple of people that want to hear something encouraging, and then we want to move on, right? I mean, a couple minutes a day of hearing something that's true, relaxing, having something on the mind that is different than the news, or hearing about the jab, or hearing about some kind of devastation out there, or some kind of made up tragedy maybe, or there's all kinds of stuff out there that is just. And then what's the worst part of it, right, is you got I'll have like two friends, right, and they'll be talking about this, all the political stuff, right, and go back and forth about ways to improve the community, right, and I mean, none of it is real, right, it's all made up, right, it's like it it's disappointing just how much that the devil is wasting our time. And then finally, right, us, right, that have a clear understanding of what's really going on, the devil wastes our time too, you know. And every time we're worried about, like, you know, what the devil's doing to stop us or to bother us or to, put a damper on us, right? We're not focused on waking somebody up, or being there for somebody that is waking up, or putting out good information, or speaking of God in a, you know, in a, we got to speak of God highly. We got to give people the right image of God, and we're the ones that can do that, right? We're the ones that can see through the image that they've given us, right, in the mainstream, right? And like, if the devil could waste our time and get us thinking about dumb stuff, right? Like, it costs the world, right? Like, I mean, I hate to think of any of us as that important, but it's getting to the point where I'm starting to think that we are, and what do we do? What do we do? How do we avoid this temptation to want to get out from discomfort, or to defend ourselves, or whatever? It's just silly. It's silly on its best day to have to defend ourselves from things that are just obviously not true. It's embarrassing at this point. But let me see who's here. Let me see who's here. Sorry. um Shepherd's voice is here. Oh, that makes me feel happy. Cindy Christ is here. Let me go from the beginning. Shepherd's voice is here, and there's Sheila, and Cindy, and Clutch Bear, Ray of Sunshine, and Paul is here. Let me click. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good thing to say there. And then Joel's here. Let me see here. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that, Joel. Um, Hannah's here. That's great. So is Tom. Hey, Tom, if you want to come up and talk, we could do that, because I did get StreamYard to work. Man, it was going slow today. I don't know what the deal was. I was getting kind of nervous about, you know how like you're caught in the middle of like, do I keep going to try to get this to work, or do I put out a notice like which will make it go longer or whatever, you know. I was caught in one of those moments, and you know, I ended up doing both things. It took the longest, so I didn't make very good decisions there under pressure. But who else here? Hannah, Cindy, Paula, I already said. Amanda's here. Good morning. Unbelievable Productions. I'm glad that you're here. Man, what an all-star cast, you know. And then Marie C. That's nice to see you. Nice to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Wow, man. And you know what? It's weird, right? Like, you know, of course, right? We all want like, you know, 300 people here or something, right? But it always ends up being 12, you know, at this point in the show, right? And it's like it's crazy because sometimes it'll hit 20, you know, but 12, that's a pretty interesting number, right? Like it's a pretty interesting number, and makes me, you know, makes me think of the disciples, you know. It's man, we're just in a climate right now in the world, man. It's just like I hate, I don't want to always be like, you know, starting off or getting to where like, oh man, things are rough out there, you know. You know what I mean? But that's the climate, right? Like it seems like, you know, every 2 days, you know, somebody's, you know, some politician is leaving in embarrassment, or, you know, more sanctions and rules and shutdowns and, you know, laws, right? Mandates, right? Pressure. You know, it's like nonstop, right? It's nonstop. And then you got, uh, you know, political events, you know, you wonder what's real, what's not real, what's made up and not made up. I mean, it's hard to get to the point where you're like, man, do I just assume that everything is made up? I mean, is that stuff in like you know, in the Middle East, is that really is that even really happening? You know, like it, would it mean is the pullout like that exactly? You know, and it sucks that we can't freely speak of certain things, right? I'm starting to get a hang of what those things are, you know. I mean, the obvious things are obvious, but there's certain things that, like, you would think that have nothing to do with anything that you can't bring up. Like, you just can't, and it's weird. It's weird. You can't mention certain countries, and I mean, this is crazy because I always used to be against like self-censoring, right? Like against you know, us like using different language, right? But then I got a warning, right? I got a, you know, they emailed me and gave me like a, it's like a strike, but it's, you get four, well, it's three strikes, but it's really four, right? But the first one is it's like a coach blowing a whistle, you know, like that you made a violation in soccer or something, and and so I got the first one, and then, um, you know, if I get another one, it's a strike, you know. And so I got to be careful until that falls off, you know. Clutch Barrett says, I think a part of me always knew it would be like this one day, but at the same time, it's shocking to see. Yeah, it is, you know. I mean, think about if the normal everyday person, right, found out all the different like lies and things that are like, you know, the things that are true now, right, that are way off from what we were told, right? Like, imagine if the regular person found out all of those things in one day, you know? They would freak out, man. We are for sure at the end. Like, anyone who thinks that this is gonna be, you know, very much longer is, you know, I personally don't think it. how long do you guys think in, let's say in either say months or years, how long do you think we have left? I'd like to get like a small poll of, you know, especially these people here, the stronger people, um, not that everyone isn't strong. I mean, I have a lot of people that click on here that are really great, but I enjoy my live audience. It's good. But yeah, I'm at the point now where there's just some things that I'm willing to die for. And I'm not gonna do anything, any kind of decision that is a this for that type of deal. Like you have to get this in order to have this. I'm not gonna do that. Like I don't care if they tell me that okay, you gotta drink this healthy glass of orange juice that is pure straight from the fruit, like, and then you can go into stores and shop, right? Then no, I'm not doing it. Then when does it end? It says any of you guys in Florida, it's being reported here. Florida, you said, huh? It's being reported here in Ireland that medical staff are leaving hospitals and refusing to treat. Yeah, people just wondering if there is the truth. I've been to Florida. I've spent some time in Florida, but I don't know. Is anybody here from Florida? So Clutchware says 3 to 5 years. That's that's pretty long, I think. Let's see here. No one else is putting out a time. It doesn't look like, but 3 to 5 years. I mean, yeah. I mean that's showing a lot of faith in the system. Because I mean it's just. I mean, I don't see how it could be. I mean, we're running out of money. I mean, it's either they're gonna have to reset everything, right? It's not that they're gonna run out of money. They could continue doing whatever. Money is a fake, made up thing, right? It's the amount of debt owed, right? Like to the banks, right? It's either gonna be they have to reset everything, give the country away, right? Because or a lot of people have to die. I mean, there's no I mean, there's really not that many options, right? If they want to keep the debt as being real and not just forgive it completely, right? Then, so, I mean, there won't be any countries anymore. It'll just be owned by the bank, everything. I mean, there's $45 trillion in assets, right? In America, complete, and we're 30 trillion in debt, like to the bank. Right? That's just the money we owe to the bank. That's just the deficit of the interest of the money that we owe the Federal Reserve. Like that doesn't even count what we owe for trade debt and all that. That's not even part of it. And I mean, it, when you look at the financial system, right? It's not nothing what I thought it was. Like it's such a game, right? That's exactly what it is. It's a game. I mean, there's no such thing as negative money, right? Like, there's, I mean, so like, yes, I get owing people, right? I get that, right? But like, uh, so like to create money, okay, if they were to print out a bunch of money and just put it out there, right? It would devalue the money that's already out there. That's obvious, right? That's easy to understand, right? If there's $10 million out there and they print another 10 million, right? Then that 10 million will have half the value because it'll just lose half its value. So how they create money is if you buy a house, right? They all that money that they loan you is made up money, created money that they create into debt. So that way, when you pay it off, it'll be out there, but it won't take down the value of what's out there. So, but the banks, right, who are allowed to, uh, they're allowed to loan out. So for every $1 that they have, they're allowed to loan out 12. It's called fractional reserve banking, right? And so they don't want to loan out money to people that are starting businesses, right? Which would create jobs, which would be good for us, right? Because it's risky. A lot of businesses fail, right? So what they want to do is loan out money to people buying houses, which artificially raises the housing value, right? So they're lending out all this money into people buying homes, right? Which is good for the real estate market, but it really screws everybody that's renting homes, right? Which are, the majority of people, right? Like it really is like it's such a game, right? When you start really getting into it, there are ways once you understand it for people, some people to win and some people not to win. But even to start out, you have to have money. And so it's and that's not even half of it. Like if I broke it all down, maybe I'll have a video where I break it all down. But I mean, even to how I understand it, it's like wrapping my little noodle around it is just insanity. Like it's over, man. Like what we think of our money system should have been over a long time ago. It we're at the point now where they're just giving us money. It's like Monopoly. They're giving us money to get around the board one more time. Like we have nothing. They have us crushed. And so when they do these they do these where they give you 12 or $1,400 or whatever. Um, that's like just to get you around the board one more time. They have to pump money into it because we have none and they have everything. So the money is not the paper, right? The money is all the shiny stuff they have locked up in vaults that we don't even get to see or touch. It's all locked up so they could just all walk around it and rub their hands together. I mean, it really is sick, man. It's sick. You know what I mean? We're nothing now. We're at the point, right, where they have everything that's like desirable to have, and they control the energy, right? And it's like so whatever they say is worth money now. It's at that level, right? And when a group of people has that much power, right, they could just do whatever, you know. And see the human beings, right, have so like the average human being, right, is not like us where we're like we have a lot of discipline, we live for God, right? Like it's an effort, but like we live differently than a normal person, but they're motivated by um like sex and gambling and things like this that won't help you survive, right? To buying brand new clothes that are in style or whatever, right? I mean, God bless you if you have the money to do that, but the human beings are, naturally attracted to things like that. It naturally desire things like that, even though it's destructive. And advertising is set up that way. I mean, it really is just a setup. I mean, I don't want to bore you guys with this stuff, so I it's just, but it's sad, like what's happening, right? There should never even be a such thing as fractional reserve banking. Well, brand new clothes in the sense that, like, it's like, oh, I want to get like this, like Armani suit, right? Like, I mean, you could get a regular suit and then have the money to survive on. Like, things that will help you survive are like food or water or, things like that. But like the natural desire is to like, oh, I want a shiny car, or I want to go gambling and risk something, or I want to jump out of an airplane. Like um, I'm not saying that people like crave to do that, but like there are things, so many things out there that are seem desirable to do, right? That are not things that will help you survive as a human being, is what I mean. So when I say like brand new cars, I mean like brand new clothes that are in style. It's just like you know uh, that's just kind of, I mean, that's just kind of how they get us because we compete with each other. We naturally compete with each other, and you know, we naturally want excitement, and we want to feel better than we feel all the time. Yeah, all that fancy stuff. And human beings have not been. designed to live that way. We're designed to do things that help us survive, hunt, eat, uh, you know, drink water, right? Communicate with each other, like things like that. And they've created a human being, right, that craves none of that, right? More than food, we want to impress people. Not me, not you, but people, right? And so, like, it's an effort to change, right? It's an effort to not think of our appearance, and the desire to want to be pretty won't help you survive. It's nothing wrong with that, but it's like it's just something that's in us, right? Naturally, that they take advantage of, right? They take advantage of us psychologically because naturally we're competitive with each other for attention or whatever. And so I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Who knows? Like, half the things that are in my brain I can't communicate out. I don't know how to share that with people. So uh, I don't know. I end up where, like, I know more than I could really explain to people. Oh yeah, what's his name? Yeah, Matt. But I like his videos, man. Like, Matt from I forget what his channel's called now. Quantum of Conscious, right? I like the videos because he's smart at pointing out the mess, right? He's smart at pointing out the mess, right? But he can't tell you who made the mess or how to clean up the mess, right? But he's very good at showing you um, all the mistakes, all the things that are not good for you, all the things in the world that are evil, right? But what he can't tell you is that the devil made that mess and that Jesus cleans that mess up, right? And so he gives you that middle part, but he's so smart at it that it holds your attention. And so for a truther, right, um, it takes your attention away from, showing encouragement to another person or building somebody up that may need help, right? Like, I have character flaws, right? I make mistakes. I need people to help build me up, right? And I know that I have, a lot of people that watch the show that are the same way, right? That we all have made mistakes in life or whatever, and it led us to the point where we're at now with our faith in Jesus, right? We found the answer, we found our purpose, and we want to help other people feel that same way. And so you're right, Matt, instead of being an incredible uh, weapon for God, right? I mean, because of how smart he is, right? He decided to be a cat woman instead. He's a cat lady. He's got like 50 cats which is cool. I mean, if you can take care of animals that are stranded or abandoned or whatever, that's great. I would even donate to that, like, a couple dollars here or there. I don't have a lot of money, but something like that would be worth money to me. I would donate a few bucks for that if you're taking care of animals. But if your choice is to use that brain to study the Bible to be able to explain it to people, um, instead of, because I mean, this guy is probably 3 or 4 times as smart as I am, you know, and I mean, this guy could probably, explain things that I would never have the insight to see. And so while I try to learn what he's doing when he's now he doesn't even really point things out because everything is such a breakdown now that you almost just assume that everything is nefarious now. But I mean, I know one thing is that there is an answer, and that's Jesus Christ. That's our way out of here. And um, yeah, we could probably live forever, right? And be just fine. But just knowing who we are and what we're made to do, the desire to move on to that next level is very strong, you know. It's like, well, I just want to get to a place where I can love people the way I want to love people. I have so much love inside me, right? And I have so much, and like I want to love God the way I'm made to love God and serve God, and I can't do that in this body. It's too. I make too many mistakes. I have too many um, I'm too human, right? And the desire to be glorified so that we could you know, carry on and be what we are to God, right? We're made to serve Him, and I think that that's what we want to do. And I always bring up what Tom mentioned to me is something that his friend told him is that he can't wait to go up and wash feet, in heaven. And I feel the same way. That struck me right in the head when he said that, like, wow, I really can't wait to go up and wash feet. That's what I mean, I don't care if they make me the king of whatever. I would have a desire to do that, to serve, just serve. I mean that's what I feel like I was made to do. And the longer I'm held from that purpose, right? The harder it is, right? Not that life is hard, right? I mean, we're in America. I mean, if this is tribulation, what is it? It's a 1 out of 10 if we're being honest. I mean, of how it's affecting us, right? But it's not fun because you have to pretend that things are real that aren't real because you have to sin just to live. It almost seems, right? I mean, to the point where you just don't even want to go nowhere, right? And so it's not necessarily that it's so horrible, right? Of a place to, go spend time with your family or whatever, right? It's just, it's horrible in the sense that um, if you know the Bible, right, and you know what God's plan is for us, right, it's like there is way better waiting for us, and, I mean, that's the best way I can explain it. Because I know that like somebody that isn't saved would look at that as somebody wanting to be suicidal because they don't want to be here anymore, right? Well, that's not the case at all. In fact, this is the like best mood I've ever been in my life, right? This is the best emotionally I've ever felt, right? But like just the knowledge of knowing what is waiting for us, right, is like makes us want to get there quicker because of how messed up people are, right? People are zombies, right? And it's not, I mean, I'm not saying that we're better than them, right? I'm just saying that they are in a place where they believe things that aren't real. And just like we were, a year or 2 or 5 or 10 years ago, right? And yeah, it's like, hey, I'm ready. I know, I'm tired too. Marie, I'm tired. I'm so ready because if we're living in our spirit, right? We know what we're made to do. I want to go sing to God and you know what I mean and do the work I'm supposed to do up there because I want to feel good finally. I like how like we spend our whole lives like not really fitting. Like no one ever told us we weren't cool, but we just never really felt cool or felt included, or we would do things and get a weird reaction, and it's like I never understood any of that until I understood that, oh wait, like God makes us different, and yeah, it's like, and then the more you know that this is what you've been groomed for your whole life, even if there was a gap between when you were a kid and you say you didn't have God for a long time, right? And then, you came back to God at a certain, like in your 20s or 30s or whatever. Once you get to where you are close to God, you realize that all that was preparing you for being with God. Like Like it's not like all that time was wasted. The hard times, the mistakes, the bumping your head all the time or whatever, those were carefully woven in there, right? To make you what you are, you know. And I should have put do not disturb on my phone like I always do, but I didn't, and I just got a phone call. Did you guys hear that, or you know? Yeah, exactly, Marie. I've cried many times thinking about just that, that like, wow, like I'm not crazy. Like there's nothing wrong with me. I always thought there was. I'm just rare, And yeah, I dropped out because the phone rang. Yeah, normally I put do not disturb. In fact, I'm gonna do it now because somebody that I know will probably call, right? Just to mess with us, right? Let me get back to where I was. Okay, am I back now? Yeah, I know, huh? I just put on the do not disturb so that way the enemy couldn't call me a million times just in case, because knowing that they can now. But I just clicked it off so they can't bother us. I've been getting all kinds of weird, like, I don't even want to say, like, I don't even want to acknowledge it, right? But I'm getting all these weird text messages. Somebody's signed my number up for stuff or whatever, and just stupid stuff. But it doesn't bother me enough to where it doesn't bother me at all, really. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like I don't. It's just something you got to deal with, right? To get to where we are, right? I mean, it's just is what it is, right? I'm being prepared for something. Obviously we're getting these like attacks from these people so that we can endure bigger attacks later, right? I mean, we're going to have a thick skin. I mean, this is the way it is. And you know what I was trying to tell my kid, like my youngest kid, I was like, yeah, if you see this stuff about this troll or whatever, because my oldest kid keeps getting sent videos. I don't know who's doing it, but that's horrific, man. And he's like, who's this Tony guy calling you out? I'm like, hey, for every one good person you meet on the internet, there's like, a million fools. And so whoever's contacting my kid is like out of bounds. But I said if you can watch one of my shows and see all the support, from all the strong men and women that come here, like it's worth it. It's worth it because there's days where like you guys just give me so much energy and you pump me up so much, just of how I feel inside. And to know that we're doing this for God. I hope God feels that same type of feeling inside that I feel. Or better. To I hope He's happy with us when we're all coming together like this. Because really, this is the only place where we could share like how we feel. Because like there's times where I've talked about God out there, and people look at me like I'm crazy, like like some kind of nut. And so, it is what it is. You know, I mean, it's not my fault that if if I go out there and I tell the truth about what I know about the earth and what I know about God and what I know about the world, that they want to lock me up. That's not my fault. If I get, you know, if people want to hate on me for that, well, that's everybody. I mean, if you're honest out there and you don't just try to fall into line and pretend like everything's real, right? Be a zombie, right? I mean, I'm honest when I'm out there. People ask me, and if they think I'm a nut, they think I'm a nut. Oh well, my God is stronger than them. They will protect. He'll protect me if I do what I'm supposed to do. God will protect me. He's faithful. If I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, He will never, never let me down, and He never has. I can say that. He's never let me. Whenever I've done what I'm supposed to do, right, and handled things the way I'm supposed to handle them, and show restraint or do whatever He's putting on my heart, he's never let me down. He's always gotten me through it very easily, gotten me through things. Yeah, things frustrate me. My flesh doesn't like things um, that a normal human being wouldn't like. But I quickly get over those things because of God. Or else, of course, I would dwell in that. It would bother me. These things would bother me. But because of God, it doesn't. I mean, when I started today, it was a fresh new day, a fresh new, wonderful, awesome day. And then all I could think about is yesterday. I was hoping AJ Blunt would be here today, but he was great yesterday on the show, you know. And so was Michigander was great, and Truth Hurts. I mean, man, I was pretty happy with yesterday's show. I was hoping that those guys would be here. If any of you guys get a chance, reach out to AJ Blunt and let him know that we missed him. I'm gonna do that. Because man, he was great, and Michigander was great too. They were all great, everybody, and especially with what we deal with backstage. I mean, if you guys knew what was going on back there, I always try to, not really put out there to you what how it really is, so that I don't want you guys to feel stressed about that. But it could be pretty bad. And so, it is what it is, right? I'm here for a reason, right? And so, I got to handle those things. Yeah, God is too good to me, really. Marisi, you are like, you're saying things that are, it's like, you know what I mean? It hitting my spirit exactly right. Um, it's God is giving me way more than I deserve. Is protecting me even when I was wrong sometimes. And yeah, I wonder why. But I know that eventually I'll understand it because it'll be for a reason. Like I'm meant to do something. Maybe not big, but something, and I'm willing to do it, whatever it is. And so God knows our hearts. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and round out. And man, today was just a good one. I really wish AJ Blunt was here. I hope that when he came on that he didn't feel embarrassed or anything, because he did a great job being on here. And I hope those guys come back. Maybe because came on late today. Maybe he thought that there was no show, and so I'm gonna reach out to those guys. And so anyway, God bless you guys, and this is what it's all about is this, right? Is to praise Jesus, right? For his sacrifice and his grace. That's our only salvation. That's our redemption. That, that's what makes us being created come to the point, where we're gonna have far more than we deserve. I mean, Jesus is everything, right? He 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 shouldn't have to share that glory with anybody. He's not gonna, and I'm glad, because I could just praise him and for the rest of all eternity, and it's worth it to me. And so I just want to say that, God bless you guys and praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. And, I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Bye.